All right, y'all. It is time to shine. It is time to shine. I'm your host, Julian Smartrimple. We are back yet again for another very special edition of the RTJ Show and Vidcast podcast series. We appreciate y'all rocking with us for today. We are literally finishing up our last leg of season 4, you all, for the podcast. And so shout out to our wisdom listeners who are listening in, getting some exclusive behind the scenes access for our episode today. But if this is your first time joining us, you are inducted as one of our smart jewels that are our listeners, our viewers who are catching us live with the podcast episode that we stream each and every Tuesday. And so the RTJ Lifestyle Show was created to spread inspiration to young professionals and millennial entrepreneurs who want to learn wisdom on how to shine brighter in their careers or their businesses. And so if you are a millennial listener, we appreciate you rocking with us for today. If you are a Gen Zer listener that is rocking with us, we appreciate y'all. Even if you are a baby boomer, we got love for the baby boomers that are listening also. But today we are going to be running a ton of jewels with a very special guest that I'm bringing on to the stage. You can catch our previous episodes on any podcast streaming platform. Just search for the Run the Jewelz podcast, and you'll see myself as our cover art with the RTJ show. We've released episodes from season 1 all the way up to season 2 now, you all. And so you can track with us and see our progress, see the work that we've been putting in over the last 3 seasons, actually. So we're going to be launching season 3 shortly, but right now we're on season 2 episodes. And finally, if you're interested in being a future guest on the RTJ show, fill out the interest form that we're putting in the comment section right now. We appreciate all of our shining VIP jewels that have been with us this season. We could not have made season 4 a success without you all. And so we appreciate y'all this season rocking with us. And last but not least, for our wisdom listeners, or even for those that are watching the live stream pre-recording, if you have any questions or any comments for my very special guest at any time, feel free to put them in the comment section below too, and we'll get to them shortly. And don't feel shy. This is a Q&A, live Q&A show. And so no question is too outlandish or too far-fetched. We'll do our best to answer it to the best of our abilities. And so those are all of our housekeeping. Today's episode is titled The Benefits of Hiring a Virtual Assistant or a VA Agency for Your Business. I'm excited to hear what our international special guest, I forgot to mention, is going to be sharing with us. I came across this dynamic queen by way of a group on Facebook that we are both in. Shout out to the Realist community, which helps entrepreneurs and content creators that are looking to better their reels and to also make money and network with other content creators off of creating reels on IG and specifically on Meta on Facebook. And so shout out again to all the content creators out there. But she literally is hailing by way of South Africa. And I'm excited because we've interviewed a ton of guests already directly from Africa in the motherland, but this is our first time interviewing someone from the South region of Africa. And so without further ado, she is a entrepreneur and also a young professional that is doing major work in the virtual assistant space. And she works currently as the owner of her own agency that she is building up from the ground up. And I'm going to introduce you to my very special guest, Miss Stephanie, so she can share some of her jewels with us today. So let me bring her onto the stage. Stephanie, how you feeling today?
I'm nervous.
We
This
are,
is like my first podcast interview, so
oh my goodness, we're breaking the grounds with you today. I love it. I love it. This is a good thing though for you, because I know you're going to feel much more confident and you're going to blow up after this and having our audience listen to your jewels. But what we always start off our interview with, Stephanie, we allow our guests to tell us where you're originally from, like where's your hometown, and also where are you tuning in from today, and why is this an important subject for you to discuss with us this episode, Stephanie?
hi everyone. So I'm Stephanie. I was born in Congo, DRC, Lubumbashi, and I currently reside in Johannesburg, South Africa. And why this topic is important is because I've seen the impact that virtual assistants have with small businesses. And I want to share that and the benefits of that with everybody else.
I love it. I love it. That's good stuff right there. Shout out to Johannesburg and also all of the individuals that are tracking with us and listening in from the motherland. We're here with Stephanie. Pronounce your last name, Stephanie. I want to make sure that we get it right.
Stephanie Lopepe.
Stephanie Lopepe. Definitely, we're here with Miss Stephanie Lopepe, who is hailing from South Africa, you all. She's going to be diving in with a ton of jewels for this episode, talking about the benefits of hiring a virtual assistant or a VA agency for your business. And so we can start from there, Stephanie. Like, tell us, like, what got you into wanting to create your own VA business? Like, do you have a background in being a virtual assistant? Let's start from there and talk to us about that.
Okay. So my background is administration. I have 6 years of experience as an administrator and office manager. And why virtual assistant is because, being an admin person, your job is to help other people run their business. And I felt stagnant in my career, and I felt like I was helping everyone else build, and I wasn't doing something for myself. So I decided, why not use the skills that I have and build something for me? And being a VA has helped me do that. Build something for me while helping other people achieve their goals.
I love that. I love that. And being in the admin space too, I know you've seen and also heard a lot of the needs of an individual that is a business owner or even managers themselves needing virtual assistants or even assistants. And so for those that don't know, like, what is a virtual assistant, could you break it down for them, Stephanie, and tell them, like, what does a virtual assistant do, and also how do they operate in a business setting?
Okay. So a virtual assistant is like a personal assistant, but the only difference is that they work for you remotely. And they'll have different tasks depending on the expertise. So for me, my expertise is in administration. So my tasks will probably be for you to be email management, diary management, interviews, bookings, flights, and all that stuff, because that's what, as an administrator, that's what I do. But we do have VAs who specialize in social media, VAs who specialize in designing. It's all depending on what the need is of the client, but we all have different expertise, and that will lead in what client would like to have.
I love it. I love it. That's a ton of jewels that Stephanie is already dropping for us for today's episode, you all. She's telling us specifically what types of virtual assistants that there are, and also why you need to consider having one. And so, like, stay with that point too, Stephanie. You said that there are specialized VAs. So, like,
Yeah.
what are some of the specialized VAs that you've come across that work with small business owners, especially like people who are just starting up their business? Like, what are some areas that you would need like a specialized VA if you're a new business owner or even a startup business founder?
Okay. So, like for small business owners, a lot of the time they do not have time to research and post and do stuff like that. So, you have a VA that is in charge of your social media. So, that VA will charge you to create content, will charge you to post the content, will charge you for the market research, all that stuff. So, those are specialized VAs because not every virtual assistant does every service available, right? So it is the business owner to decide what is the need for my business currently and where can I get that service. So small businesses usually struggle with social media, so they'll get a virtual assistant to do that, or others do not have time for administration. You are trying to, I don't know, if you are making a product, if you are in meetings, you do not have time to send invoices, do not have time to email different clients, and you do not want to double book. So you want a VA that is solely in charge of your administration. So you have that. And you also have VAs that are just in charge of customer service, right? So those VAs they'll either take calls or they'll answer your social media DMs. So it just depends on what the need is of the small business, and then we take it from there.
I love it. And when it comes to specialized VAs, I know that's something that even our team has looked at because it saves you a lot of time, like Stephanie is telling you all, especially for our wisdom listeners who are listening in. If you know of the capacity and also the benefit that a VA provides you for any type of service or any type of business, literally they save you so much time, and even they can save you a lot of money, which goes into like the next point, Stephanie. Like when it is in that space of wanting to budget for a VA or wanting to budget to hire out a contractor that's a VA, a virtual assistant. Like how much on average, from what you've seen, even in your professional setting, or even as you as starting up your VA business, what type of range should you charge or be looking to charge a VA so that they're not someone that's lazy and that they go ghost on you, but that they actually are feeling fulfilled, that they're getting paid the right amount for their duties that you're given?
I think in terms of cost, it just depends on what's the task you're giving your VA. So the market related cost for a VA is between $30 to $75 an hour, right? And that will range on what you want your VA to do. So, like somebody like me who's starting up, so I'm just doing basic administration tasks. So I will charge you a rate that's related to what you need from me. So it could be $30, it could be 45, it could be $25. It just depends on what the client needs and what the client can afford, right? So, and to speak about cost, right? I want everyone to know that it goes both ways, right? You can't expect so much from your VA and not pay the price, right? So if you're going to expect, good service, always on call and stuff like that, that will cost you. But obviously, if you do not have the means to pay your VA so much money, you can ask for a package. How much would you charge me to just take care of my Instagram? How many hours a day can you do that? So that will depend on what you can pay your VA. So that you only find out what the cost is once you have a discovery call. You will tell your VA what you need, your VA will tell you the price, and then you guys can take it from there.
Ooh, Stephanie's dropping a ton of jewels on us this episode, you all, especially when it comes to learning how to have a package versus a la carte and literally charging by the hour. She's telling you how to set up your own business, especially if you are looking to even start your own virtual assistant agency or VA business. Literally, there is a difference between charging by the hour versus giving someone a package deal. And we're gonna definitely go more into that point in a second, Stephanie. But we wanted to give you a quick commercial break to catch your breath for a second while we highlight our VIP sponsor for today's episode. Each and every episode, we have a sponsor that is a business owner or even an affiliate partner that we highlight for our episodes for season 4. And so if you are a business owner or entrepreneur and want to have your business or your service or your product shown and also heard on our international podcast audience, definitely click the link that we're putting in the comment section and also sign up to see if you will be one of our next partners or our next sponsors for season 5. And so let's take a look and see who our VIP sponsor is for today's episode, you all. Let's take a look. So shout out to our VIP sponsor for today's episode comes from none other than ExpressVPN. ExpressVPN is a dynamic and stable VPN that you can use for when you are traveling internationally. And even if you're here locally and you want to tap in to any of the networks or the internet servers in the country that you were originally living in or that your family members may be in, ExpressVPN is a great product that we use when we're traveling internationally. And you can receive a free 30-day trial by clicking the link that we're putting in the comment section below in order to try it out for yourself. And we swear by Express. They're very economical and also very stable, and you can literally stay in touch, especially if you're going to Asia or to certain parts of the world where they may have certain sites that are blocked from your home country or home state. And so definitely consider tapping in with a VPN like Express. And so we just wanted to highlight our VIP sponsor really quick, Stephanie, before we continue with the packages. We definitely got to got to have some people learn about the packages when they are looking to, let's say, have a package deal with a VA. Like, what are some of the packages that you've even started to think about putting together for your clients that others that are listening may want to also look for, so that they can see even how you structured your company and how you're structuring your company? Like, what are some packages that may be attractive to clients?
Oh, okay, cool. So, for me anyway, so it will be social media. You have social media, and then my expertise will be Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, right? So my package will be 10 hours every week or 10 hours a month, and then I'll add in customer service, so replying to DMs or cold calling. A lot of my clients do not have time to call suppliers, so they want me to ask for quotations and do stuff like that. So I may include that. So how I would decide, depending on the clients, will be how many hours it would take for me to complete this, right? So
Mm,
like a normal Instagram post may look very pretty, but it takes hours to get to that prettiness. It takes hours of research, hours of design. What time should I post? Engagement and stuff like that. So the VA would decide, okay, if it's 10 hours, I'll charge you X and Y because it takes me, I don't know, 5 hours or 6 hours to complete that work. So it all depends on the client's need and the capacity for the VA to be able to accomplish those goals for the client.
ooh, yeah, that's a good package deal right there, especially because you are already specializing in certain areas, so
Yeah.
that you can provide even more advantages and benefits because you've already worked in these areas that you are offering. And so, like, that's a great point that you made right there, Stephanie, in reference to like the customer side, because I know you've worked with tons of clients in the admin space already. Like, what type of questions should a potential customer that is wanting to hire you or any other VAs, like, what type of questions do you think you should ask on the customer side to make sure that this is a good relationship and that this is going to be a good partnership, and that you're not just hiring just anybody that won't be able to hit the mark of what you actually need to get done?
Um, for the customers, I always say discovery call is very important, right? That 30 minutes, 1 hour that you get to chat to your potential VA, you need to ask, specific questions. Are you experienced in this industry? How can you assist me, or how can you add value to my business? Because there's no point to pay money if the serve won't add value to you, right? Other questions for the customer, um, uh, um, which other clients do you have on board? Can you handle the workload? Because we can't take as many clients as we can, right? Or as we can handle, but sometimes we outsource our service. I have X amount of clients, I do not have time, so I outsource my service. When you're outsourcing services you're providing to me, are those people capable to give the same standard of service that you would have if you were handling the account yourself? And
Mm,
other questions you can ask the potential VA is like personal questions, because at the end of the day you want to match with your VA. Do you share the same values? Do you share the same interests? Do they value your business? Do they value your company, or is it just the bottom line? Because as for me, I would like to make an impact with my business, right? So I want to be working with clients who I believe in the service they provide, or I believe in the product that they're selling. That makes everything so much better, because if I believe in your business, it's easier for me to work and give it all. But if I don't, then it's just check and balances. And sometimes clients are not always happy with that kind of service. So it's on you to do your due diligence, do your research. Just a quick search on the internet is all that you need. And at the end of the day, we don't know each other, so it's about trust. You're experiencing this, I'm not, and I'll trust that you will do the work.
Absolutely. And that's something critical. Like Stephanie is telling us, when it comes to the discovery calls, she's dropping a ton of jewels. There are certain companies or even certain VAs that may not even have a discovery session or a discovery call. And that is imperative, like Stephanie is saying, so you can get to really talk, and ask as many questions before you hire out a potential VA or a potential VA agency, and that you don't waste your money or their time or your time, because that discovery call will tell you all you need to know in advance. And even stay with that point too, Stephanie. Like, should you ask for like previous references or even previous portfolio work that the VA, or even if you're hiring an agency that is going to accommodate you with the VA, should you ask for like any portfolios or testimonials that they have done successfully? What are your thoughts on that? Providing proof of concept.
Yes, like a VA is just like a new team member you're adding in your company, right? So yeah, you can ask for reference, you can ask for testimonials, and it's also new, right? To go out there and search. Does the VA have a business account, whether on social media? Do they have a website? Is it a word of mouth, right? Because at the end of the day, it's your money, it's your reputation, it's your business. So everything is done up to you. I can do everything on my side, right? But if you don't feel connected to this person, then don't do it, right? But you can ask for testimonials. Go check their Facebook business page. Go check their IG business page. Ask around, do search. All that will help you make the final decision, right? And I always tell my clients, if you're not ready to hire a VA, please don't waste our time, because a lot of people would take the discovery call, they would do the call, like the reference, the testimonials, but they're not ready to work. One, either they do not have the means to take on the service, or they do not see the value in the service, or to be honest, they're not ready. They're not ready to let go of control. Because the moment you involve somebody in your business, you are trusting them to take on that work, that responsibility. If you're not ready, don't do it. But do your homework, do your diligence, do your search, ask questions. I want to have a video call, I'd like to meet with you in person, I mean, obviously, I'm in South Africa, you guys are in the US. That won't happen, but, a Zoom call or whatever it is, just to make you feel comfortable. You can ask as much question as you want, because it's your money, it is your business name on the line.
Yeah, that's a key jewel in itself right there, is to not waste their time or not waste your time. Like Stephanie is saying, a lot of people say that they want help, but just like Stephanie is telling us, when you actually have coaches, mentors, or even other service providers that are available to you, you get basically sidetracked, or you get fearful of taking the next step. And so you're like a deer with the headlights, and you don't know to go to the next step or to relinquish control. And stay with that point too. And wisdom listeners, for those who are listening on wisdom, if you have any questions for Stephanie or myself at this time, feel free to chime in. We'll bring you up to the stage. Shout out to all of our wisdom listeners listening in. But Stephanie, stay with that point too when it comes to control. Like, why do you think a lot of business owners, especially because you're a business owner now yourself, like, why do you think a lot of business owners are afraid to relinquish control when they know that they can't do everything on their own? They know that they're not specialized in every single area of their business. Like, why do you think most business owners or clients that you've worked with are afraid to relinquish control to someone like a VA?
They're just human, right? You love this baby, you love this business. I know this business better than anyone. I can do this better than anyone. But to be honest, we only have 24 hours in a day. We do not have time to do everything, right? So it's just, you just need to trust the process, right? Once you choose your VA, you just need to trust them. Okay, their specialty is social media. I'm not a social media person, so let this person do their job. And you can do follow-ups. You do follow-ups, you do daily reports or weekly reports. You do everything in your power to know what's happening, but you have to let that person do the work. That's their expertise. They know what they are doing. They know the industry better than you. So you just have to trust the process. I know a lot of times people don't like to trust the process, but you have to do it. Like, we can't work with you micromanaging us. It's firstly, you don't pay us enough to do that. Like, I'm just gonna be honest. And secondly, it's counterproductive because instead of me working, I'm replying to your messages. What is happening? What is happening? Just have to trust the process and everything will be okay.
I love that right there, Stephanie. Trust the process. Folks do not trust the process when they hire a professional, especially in hiring a professional. You got to trust the process, especially when you are a startup business owner or even a new business owner. We can't do everything on our own, you all, especially for those business owners that are listening. Hire a professional and relinquish control. And so stay with that last point that you made too, Stephanie, before we get ready to transition shortly to our final jewels. Like, where should you look for VAs? I know you talked about there's different sources that you can look for a VA on freelance sites, but what are some of the ones that you've even started to advertise your services through? And then from your job and your profession, what are some areas that people can look for VAs at?
Okay. So, like, currently everything is online, right? So you find VAs on Instagram, you find VAs on Clubhouse, you find VAs on Twitter, you find VAs on Facebook. Like, there's literally no excuse where you can find a VA, right? We are everywhere. We are literally everywhere. All you need to do is search, do your little bit of research, look at the content that they're posting. Is it related to your industry? Do you like the personality that you see? VAs are available everywhere. You just need to choose one and it will work.
Yeah, yeah, and I even get hit up on a regular, like Stephanie is telling you. I get hit up on a regular, you all, on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is very much so a hot spot for VAs or VA agencies, for especially for those who are podcasters or content creators, by getting hit up or solicited to by VA agencies, because they're always having headhunters or recruiters that potentially could be VAs themselves that are wanting to slide into your inbox or your DM to ask you, are you interested in having a virtual assistant for your business? And so that is critical right there, Stephanie, like you are mentioning. And I know, to add on to that point, like, would you recommend entrepreneurs or business owners using, let's say, like Fiverr and freelancer sites or Upwork? These are like some freelance sites that are very popular here in the States. Like,
Yeah.
would you recommend that people look at hiring freelancers that are VAs, or would you recommend that they stick towards like stable sites that are, let's say, like LinkedIn's or job or career focused websites?
For me, I think it's whatever site you are comfortable with, right? Because, like, there's a lot of us, like, there's plenty of VAs. We are there's a lot of us, guys. So if you want LinkedIn, do LinkedIn. If you want to go on to an agency, do that. So whatever is easier for you, whatever you find credible for you can do that, right? Because a lot of times, some people, like for me, a lot of my clients is word of mouth, right? It's because somebody used my service, they were happy, so they referred me to someone else, or they referred that person to me. So word of mouth is still good, right? So anything that you're comfortable with, use that resource. If it's agencies, if it's LinkedIn, if it's social media, if it's, going to conferences and then you find a VA there, whatever you're comfortable with, you need to use that platform.
I love it. I love it. Definitely have to already know by recommendation or referrals, especially like Stephanie said, who is actually putting in that work, as we talk about a lot on the RTJ show. But let's pivot a little bit, Stephanie, to talk about your business. Like how did you get the confidence? We always talk to small business owners and entrepreneurs, or even content creators, about their process. How did you get the confidence enough to step out on your own? And then like what were some of the early like struggles or the early let's say hurdles that you had to overcome in order to start your business?
Okay. So my confidence came where I had no choice but to just start, right? I've been working for, like I said, 6 years, and I had to build something for myself. So I was like, I have skills. There's a need in my community. There's a need. People do not have time to send invoices. They do not have time to make calls. So let me provide that service. And that's why I started. And the challenge that I have right now is that people either they do not see the value of a virtual assistant, so they do not take my services seriously, or they actually cannot afford my service, right? We're going through the most as a global economy. So people are trying to find ways to cut cost. But I always tell my clients, it's always worth it when you pay the price and you let somebody else help you run your business. Because once you want to take shortcuts, either you do it yourself and you're always late, or you pay someone a lower cost, but you don't do the work properly. At the end of the day, it's your business that's taking a hit. So I always tell people you just have to pay the cost and everything will run smoothly like it's supposed to.
Yeah, like Stephanie's saying, you have to pay the cost to be the boss. You can't be out here. You can't be out here trying to shortcut or even shortchange those VAs that actually know what they are doing, like Stephanie,
Mhm.
and especially others that are putting in that work for your company and your brand. And so let's talk about, even as you were saying, with starting it up. Like, have you had support? We always like to keep it real on our
Mhm.
RTJ show. Have you had support from your family or your friend circles? Have people been hating on the side on you because you're stepping out and starting your own business? Like, we always keep it real. Like, talk to us about your community, your inner circle of family and friends. Have they been supportive? Have they looked at you like you're a broke entrepreneur that's trying to just stay broke for life without a job, a steady paycheck? Like, talk to us about the family and also the inner circle dynamic.
Okay. So, in terms of my family, they've been waiting for this moment for a long time. I delayed it because I was nervous, but when I was like, let me go. And that's what happened. My family is very supportive. They share my posts. They tell people who are struggling, you can get a VA, stuff like that. My challenge is more of like the bigger community, like people you've met and stuff like that. I remember one time this guy, he saw my logo and then he's like, oh, this is another company's logo. And then when I looked at it, I'm like, bro, I don't even know these people. And secondly, instead of saying congratulations, you are pooping on my logo. So those are the challenge that you face. And some people do not actually take you seriously, right? You book a discovery call because we know each other, you want a discount, or you want to make, like cancel a meeting, reschedule a meeting, stuff like that. It always happens with small businesses. So what I learned is that, I just have to keep pushing. I have to provide valuable content to my community, and the clients will come eventually. And that's how I'm keep going with my business.
I love it. You got to keep going. You have to keep going right there, like Queen Stephanie is telling you all. And so stay with the motivation, because we all need to be motivated, especially you as a content creator. Like I said at the beginning, Stephanie and we met through being a part of a content creation community for Reels, especially on IG and on Facebook. But like, how do you stay motivated, Stephanie? Do you listen to certain audio? Do you listen or write on your own? Do you read certain books or certain blogs? Like, how do you stay motivated to not give up throughout the process?
Okay. I just surround myself with people who are also trying to go far in life, right? I don't surround myself with people who are negative or people who are always complaining. So when I see my friends like hustling and doing the things, I'm like, I can't be left behind. I need to hustle too. So that motivates me, you know. And I love listening to podcasts like yours, business podcasts. It opens my mind and I get to learn, right? And all these things are free. Podcasts are free. So that's free information out there to help you grow. So I love doing that. And I'm a religious person. So I love listening to Sarah Jakes, Stephanie, and stuff like that. Just a way to balance it out, you know. I may be of faith, but I still gotta make a living. I still gotta live life. So a balance of it all. That's what keeps me motivated.
Yeah, you gotta have that faith. At the end of the day, we always keep that at the forefront and promote. You have to believe not just in yourself, but we even say you have to believe in God, not the universe, as I like to hear a lot of people saying. But there's actually a God that you need to know and also need to acknowledge. And so we don't shy away from that conversation on our podcast show, Stephanie. So we appreciate you sharing the importance of your faith and also in trusting God in order to order your steps. And so, like, we forgot to even mention as we wind down shortly, like, talk to us about South African culture. I know the music scene is very popular out there, especially people here in the U.S. are starting now to catch on to even the house music scene out here in the U.S. With artists like Drake, Beyonce, Chris Brown, and others that are releasing albums that have more house music and even more Afrobeat music in their genre. So talk to us about, like, how is South African culture now? What is the music scene looking like, especially for entrepreneurs like yourself, like tapping into the music scene and the entrepreneurship? Like, how is it out there in South Africa?
Um, South Africa, in terms of the entertainment industry, is doing very well. The genre that's really out there is amapiano. It's like a
Hmm.
beautiful genre of music. So that's doing very well. And like in general, the country is going through an economic it's just not the best, you know. But the youth are doing everything in their power to, you know, to empower themselves, whether it's through entrepreneurship, whether it's through tourism, content creation. So if you go through like your social media and you look at the content that's coming out of South Africa or Africa in general, it's very creative, it's very light. So we are taking charge of the narrative that we're putting out there, right? So entrepreneurs are doing very well. We have this brand, this is Drip. It's like shoewear brand, and the way people have rallied around that brand is just amazing. So we are doing the whole buy local, support local, and once we do that, the world kind of buys into that. So we, like South Africa in general and Africa as a continent, we are doing very well in terms of entrepreneurship. The thing that we want is like to empower our communities in order to, you know, to do better financially. Instead of us taking our skills out there, we can empower the community here in Africa in order for us to grow.
I love it. I love it. And even myself, as I think I told you at the beginning, Stephanie, I got to travel to the South. Like, what are some of the highlights of where people should go to when they come to South Africa, particularly in Johannesburg, where you're located? And
Yeah.
even, like, what are some of the foods and some of the dishes that people should try that are traditionally like South African dishes?
Oh, okay. So I think when you come to South Africa, you can either go to Cape Town, you know, where you see all the beautiful mountains, the beach, and stuff like that. I just came from Kruger National Park. It's a beautiful place where you get to see all the beautiful animals. You get to experience nature. The accommodation there is very nice. It's affordable too. And in terms of local cuisine, I'm not gonna lie, I'm going to be biased right now, and I'll tell you when you come to South Africa, you need to try out a buns out burger. Guys, y'all don't know burgers until you try a buns out burger.
I love it. I love it. That burger is hitting, or it's busting, like we say here in the States. And they always say in the States with a lot of the younger folks that burger must be busting. It must be.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. And even like talk about too, because most of the folks here in the US, they of course know that Mandela was from South Africa, and others like talk about like the activism that people that are young, especially that look like myself and you, like are they very active and really standing up for their rights and standing up for their culture, standing up, as you said, for their community? Like talk to us about like what type of legacy has Mandela and even others that have been political prisoners, or even people that are political activists, what type of legacy has still been left and also can still be seen in South Africa?
um Today's generation, especially generation younger than me, like they are a no BS generation. Whether it's in university, whether it's in the workspaces, like activism is just in our DNA, right? And it's not necessary going in the streets and vandalizing and whatever. It's like calling for policy change. Like a lot of university students want to see change in the classroom. They want to see change in who the lecturers are. They want to see change in the work that we are being taught, right? A lot of people want to see change in the corporate space, in terms of the income that we are getting, in terms of the promotions, in terms of seeing women, black women, into higher positions. So I think that legacy has left a print within us that if we want to see a difference, if we want to see change, we become that change. And we have politicians who we elect, so we expect so much from them. So it's like activism has not died out, but activism has taken a different form in today's generation. It has also taken a different language in today's generation, and how we get that change. And that's the difference between a Mandela generation and today's generation.
Ooh, I love it. Stephanie dropping a ton of jewels. He said you got to stay active even when the ancestors and the elders have transitioned. It's about leaving that legacy and what us. And so shout out again to Mandela, and also shout out again to those who are still keeping activism alive and well in South Africa. I know we are literally pressed for time, Stephanie, so
Yeah.
we'll get ready to transition into our final jewel. Each and every episode, we allow our VIP guests to leave a final jewel of wisdom, or a final thought with all of us who are listening for our dynamic episode with Stephanie today. And so, Stephanie, what would be a final jewel that you would want to leave with the audience when it comes to the benefits of hiring and also building with a VA, or even having a VA agency that you are using? What's a final jewel of wisdom that you would want to leave with the audience today?
Okay. So the benefits of having a VA on your team, firstly, it's cost effective. Like we all want to manage our budget, to manage our money. That is what a VA does. It's cost effective. It maximizes your productivity. Having a VA is very important, especially for small business owners. They take so much so that you can focus on your business. And most importantly, having a VA saves you time. It saves you time. You can now enjoy the fruits of your labor. There is no point of building a business, of building a brand, when you cannot have personal time, when you cannot go on holiday, when you cannot go fetch your kids from school and stuff like that. A VA helps you run your business while you can still have a life. And my final jewel promise is that if you want to start a virtual assistant business, just do it. Just do it. It's time. It's the right moment. Do it, and you can learn on your way. I don't know everything. I'm learning every day, and that's the whole point. You just need to start, and everything else will work out.
Yeah, Stephanie is telling us just to start, you all. She dropping a ton of jewels. We got to drop the jewels on Stephanie Lopepe, who is literally telling us how she started her VA agency and also how she's continuing to grow in her VA business from the ground up, you all. Stephanie, where can people reach you, Queen, if they want to solicit your services? Even if they want to hear you at their conferences or even on their podcasts or their platforms, like where can people stay in touch with you, and also how can they solicit your services?
Okay. I have a business page on Instagram. It's VA at Virtually Steph. You can also find me on Facebook, and you can email me info@virtuallysteph.co.za. I'm always available to chat, whether it's in the DMs or on email. You can find me on those platforms, and we can take it from there.
Yes, y'all stay connected with Stephanie. She's definitely a dynamic queen that's on the rise, making some major moves, especially coming out of South Africa. She told us about what is the culture in South Africa currently right now. She even told us why it's important to hire a virtual assistant or VAs to cut a lot of time and also unwanted energy wasted and literally relinquishing control on your business so that you can elevate and also delegate. And so if you've been blessed by today's episode, before I get ready to say a quick prayer over Stephanie, feel free to sow a seed with us. There's 3 ways to give. You can sow a seed by cash apping us at SMART, SMART, JEWELZ, or you can become a monthly Patreon with us by clicking the link that we're putting in the comment section below in order to partner with us as we get ready to go into season 5, you all. We've been putting in work since season 1, interviewing guests from all over the world, and specifically that are entrepreneurs or young professionals. And so if you've been blessed by any of the jewels of wisdom that Stephanie dropped us, feel free to partner with us and sow a seed. And all of the names and companies you see at the bottom of our screen scrolling have been partners or donors or sponsors for season 4, you all. So shout out to all of our sponsors and affiliate partners and donors for season 4. But Stephanie, I'm going to say a quick prayer over you, Queen, and then let you enjoy the rest of your day. We thank you again for coming on, and I know we'll be in touch soon. But let me say a quick prayer before we let you go. Father God, I just want to thank you for Stephanie. I thank you, Father, for all the talents and the gifts that you've given her, and also even the individuals that she's been able to assist and help that she may never know of, or even that she may not even get credit for, Father, but those that know that she was able to bless them and she was able to get them to the next level in their career or even in their business. We thank you for her family and her support system that continues to build her up and continues to encourage her to keep going. We pray that just from her opening her mouth with today's interview, that you will throw her a flood of different opportunities, business partnerships, and even new clientele that she can benefit from her labor and also from her opening her mouth to speak on today's episode. We pray that you will bless her 100-fold increase and give her new doors of opportunity and new elevations this season. And I love you, Father. I praise you, and I give you all the glory and honor for today's interview. And it's in Jesus, Yeshua's name I pray. Amen. We appreciate you, Stephanie, for coming on, Queen. We'll definitely have to have a part 2 so people can hear how you progress with your VA business. But thank you again for staying on with us. What time is it in South Africa, just so they know, too, before we leave?
It's 4 p.m.
4 p.m. you all. So definitely know about that time difference when you go over to the motherland. Is not on the East Coast time where I'm at. But thank you, Stephanie, again so much, Queen. And you enjoy the rest of your evening. And thank you for coming on and sharing with us today.
Thank you.
All right, peace. All right, you all. I'm going to share some quick jewels for thought just to wrap up. You heard from Stephanie again, who was literally sharing her playbook and sharing her blueprint formula of what it means to have a VA and also why you should hire one. And so take a look at some of our updates, and I'm going to come back to sum up our episode and giving my final jewels for thought. So let's take a look at some of our services that we are offering for season 4. So we offer podcasts, content, coaching services that we are partnering with Smart Jewelz Enterprises that powers the RTJ show. And so if you're looking to reach new audiences, the secret to your growth is hiding right in front of you. We offer podcast live streaming services, podcast technical assistance or admin assistance that can work behind the scenes, and also webinar hosting, customized show branding. Just visit www.smartjewelz.enterprises.org to sign up for a free discovery session with one of our staff in order to make your show and make your podcast more professional and also make it a reality. Also, stay tuned, you all. We're going to the nations. We're going all across the globe. We even may end up where Stephanie's located at in South Africa eventually. We definitely are going to be going back to West Africa in Liberia, Ghana, and Sierra Leone very shortly. But we're literally taking the show on the road internationally, which is what we always said. And so final jewels for thought is just like Stephanie said, have a plan, make sure you follow through with that plan, plug into other individuals who have a dynamic and large plan for their lives so that you can stay encouraged and stay inspired, and make sure you bet on yourself and keep the faith, you all. Stephanie, just like other entrepreneurs and business owners that we've talked to on the RTJ show, had to make a decision to bet on themselves and to also trust the process. A lot of us, we get caught up with social media thinking that we should be farther along than where we are, but you are exactly where you need to be. You just have to put in a little bit more work and also fail forward with a little bit more risk taking in order to get to the top. And so elevate this season, stay hydrated, stay focused, and we'll see you at the top. Those are all of my final jewels for thought. Definitely visit smartjewelzenterprises.org to get started on your podcast today. And we'll see you all next week. Until the next time, stay hydrated, shine bright like the bright diamond jewel you were created to be.